Good morning, Dr. Wicker. We can't hear you. We can't hear you. Good morning, everyone. We're just having some experience with some
Can you hear me now?
now we can hear you, Dr. Wicker.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much. I'm not sure what that was about, but of course, technical difficulties do happen. And
Yes,
so
ma'am.
I thank all of you for joining us today. Carol, thank you so very much. I'm going to cover what I covered after the show. I won't
That's
start
good.
now. I'm just glad that we are on task with what we want to do. And again, welcome to the show, everybody. I'm Dr. Lisa Wicker, your host for today. When we have those difficulties, we just keep it agile and flexible and keep it moving.
Keep it moving.
Things happen. I can't imagine what they do in the television world, but this is basically the same. I'm operating and talking at the same time. But we're here with Carol Davis, who is an honoree this year. With the class of 2025, the National Career Master Leadership class, Diversity Impact 50. Carol's going to have a very good conversation with me. I went over quite a few things this morning about the activities that we're doing in both Charlotte and Detroit. We'll cover those in a minute. But again, this show is about women lifting women, about women who are in the marketplace compelling themselves to do the business of business, and women who are bringing forth and along others as well as the next generation of leaders. And so let me introduce you to Carol Davis. And our conversation today is really about um, making connections. It starts with her, but it's leadership tips for those that want to understand how to land or navigate after loss and grief, which is very apropos for our speaker today for the conversation that Carol and I will have. Carol Davis in 2017 and her family faced an unimaginable tragedy, losing their eldest son, her sister, and her brother in law within a 3-month span. As Carol navigated the season of profound grief, she found solace in serving others. Along the way, she connected with numerous families who resonated with her story and needed support. Fueled by a desire to help others and fulfill her God given purpose, Carol discovered meaning and strength beyond her pain. From the heartfelt journey, Davis Legacy Company was born, a Christian brand devoted to coaching and helping women navigate grief with faith and hope. Davis Legacy co equips women with practical tools for a healthy healing process and guide them in discovering life beyond loss. The organization offers a 12-week grief education program, which integrates biblical principles to foster holistic healing, to support others along their grief journey. For approximately 15 years, Carol has served as associate pastor alongside her husband of TDC Vision in Detroit, Michigan. She's from Detroit. And she is also an accomplished executive assistant professional with over 25 years. Listen today as I talk with Carol about this most important subject, particularly as all of us know, this season, beginning in 25, has been um, loss for many, challenges for many, and it's uncertainty for many. For many, I myself personally, and I shared this with Carol just before we started, had lost this year and still feeling that part of grief and loss because I lost my middle sister, who was very close to me, and it's only been since January. So I feel that this conversation is going to help me as well, Carol, because besides continuing to do the work that I do, I still have that part of me that I have to manage in a way that doesn't overtake me every day, right? And
That's right.
so I'd like to start off by so first of all, welcome.
Thank you so much, Dr. Wicker. It's
You're
such a
welcome.
pleasure to be here.
Welcome. You're welcome. So, having read your story and introduced you from the information that you've provided, as well as knowing on the research we did that you became an honoree this year. You have had tremendous loss and grief. And I'd like you to share with our audience your backstory and what inspired you really, truly, besides, the loss that you have had, to further this interest in helping others with grief and loss.
Absolutely. First of all, thank you so much, Dr. Wicker, for this honor. I am just elated and thrilled to be here with you today.
Thank you.
Well, first of all, let me say this, that when it came down to my loss, and you shared that with the folks this morning, the audience this morning, outside of that tremendous loss that we experienced, I've always had a heart, Dr. Wicker, to help others. As she shared with you all, that I'm also an associate pastor at my church. And God has always given me a gift of helps, just wanting to uplift, wanting to encourage. And so this is going into this field. Of course, it was relative to the loss, but going into this area is really something that was very natural for me, because again, I just truly believe in there are many times when people are going through no, not just a loss of a loved one, but just trials in general in life. And God has always given me a heart, I guess, Dr. Wicker, for the people and just wanting to uplift and encourage. But this particular journey, I did not see coming. And as I share with you, in 2017, when our family experienced that, losing my son Garrick, losing my sister Brenda, and my brother-in-law, and so many people may hear that story and say, "Well, we've had many losses in life." Absolutely, we have. But when we are hit back to back in that way, it is traumatizing. If I can be honest, it is traumatizing. And so, finding your way out of such a dark space can
Yes.
be a challenge. It can be a huge challenge. But
Yes.
here's the thing that I will start my conversation off with, and that is, it's because my relationship with Jesus Christ is because of that foundation that was already established, that I am still standing today. And so, as I began to take it one day at a time, I would even say one moment at a
Hmm.
time, I had to believe and trust that the same God that brought me out of so many different situations in my life, He was the same. He was going to bring me through this as well. So I had to continue to build up my faith, because your faith, as you know, Dr. Wicker, can be shaken. Not
Yes.
just when you, right? Not just when you are hit with multiple losses in your life, loss in general, trials, life in general, when it hits us, it can hit us like an anvil, so it just
Mm.
knocks us off of our feet. But here is what I always share with people. This is why it's so important that we stay rooted and grounded in our faith. That is what helps us when those moments come, those storms come. And that's what helped me. And so I
Hmm.
found myself in a place, Dr. Wicker, when many people were coming to me and asking me the same question. And that was, Carol, how in the world did you get to the place where you are? Because
Hmm.
they had maybe experienced losses, not necessarily just, and we'll talk about this later, not necessarily loss of life,
Yes.
loss of a loved one, because as we'll share later, there are many types of losses.
Yes. Yes.
But it's wanting to know, listen, here I am. I feel like I'm not going to make it.
Hmm. Hmm.
In a dire situation, strong men, strong women, accomplished. And here we are, you are totally shaken.
Yes. Yes.
And now what do I do? And so people are looking for that hope. They're looking for the help. And so that's where my journey began, Dr. Wicker, where I began to just tell my story about how I took it one day at a time. And that's exactly what it took. So right now, the woman that you see now is not the woman that was that you saw in 2017.
Yes. Yes. Wow.
So
Wow.
that's what brought me to this point. My trust in God, my faith in God, believing that He was going to bring me through. And then as I began to help others, it was also helping me, I would find out later, helping me to heal also, but it took time.
Right,
It took
right,
time.
right.
So that's what really brought me here. I began to seek out information and learning more about what this looks like, educating others about it, because I didn't want them to go it alone, Dr. Wicker. No one should have to go through this experience alone.
I
And so
agree.
that's what brought me here today.
I totally agree. I mean, you hit on a lot just in that first part of our discussion, one day at a time, hold faith, not going it alone. And as we know, there are different types of grief. We're going to talk about that. What I have really focused on a little bit here for today as well is currently the environment that we're in. The world has changed. It's changing right before our face, and the
Yes,
current
ma'am.
changes that are in the U.S., which is a topical item right now, including political tension, economic
Yes.
shifts, social movements, the technology, AI, all of these things can cause loss or have caused loss. People have lost jobs like in the blink of a moment without any expectations, which then
Yes.
allows them, unfortunately, to cascade downward to lose their homes, to lose their
Yes.
families, which in turn can have an effect on mental health, on
Absolutely.
the emotional. And we know what, the pandemic did, the COVID and all of that. Here are some key ways in which people are being affected. As I said, economic, political, the deceleration of DEI and the tearing down of the civil rights infrastructure, all of the things that are happening now. I'd like to hear from you a couple of things. What type of losses, what are the type of losses that people have? And then what are some key techniques or strategies, just simple strategies that people can help themselves with in their losses of the things that I mentioned?
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. So, as Dr. Wicker mentioned, there are many types of losses. Of course, the loss of our loved ones, but then there is loss of career. There is loss of your pet. There is loss of your home. People being evicted out of their homes. There's loss of finance, and I think that in the climate that we're in right now, it has, as you said, Dr. Wicker, it has touched all of it. It has touched career. It has touched finances. I'm going to say this to you, it has touched relationships,
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm.
because when there's loss of finances in families, they're affected and they're stressed, and it could cause problems and breakdowns in relationships and families. And so it kind of just, it's a ripple effect. And so look, grief is basically that natural response to loss. And as you said, this nation, people, we are grieving. And again, as I share with you, those are all the many forms that we can see. There's loss of safety when those that are experiencing physical abuse, they're in abusive relationships. So there's loss of, and with that comes loss of trust, right? So, and it affects so many other things. And so
Yes.
in this climate that you mentioned, as you know, grief can also again affect the career transitions that people are going through, the
Yeah.
financial hardships, all of those things. And so for many professionals, that career loss is more than just a job ending.
Yes.
It can feel like losing a part of themselves. It shakes them to their core, because where there was once stability, now there is uncertainty. I'm going to say that again. Where there was once stability, there's
Hmm.
now uncertainty. And so what
Hmm.
do we do? So there's a shaking of the sense of purpose, Dr. Wicker, and direction. And so, as you said, countless professionals, they're being thrust into this unexpected transition, and there is a shift that is happening. And so when uncertainty comes, sometimes it also we begin to question our worth.
Yes.
So, but I'm going to
Yes.
say this to
Big
you
there.
all.
There. That's big there. Question your
Yeah,
worth.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. We question our worth. And so what do? We need to recognize our worth. So I'm
Mhm.
going to say this to you that are watching: no job title, no length of service, no
Mhm.
career path, nothing at all can determine who you are and whose you are.
Mhm. Say that
So,
again.
so no length of service, no title, your position does not determine who you are or whose you are. That's the one thing I would like to say. And even in my work with those that have experienced loss of loved ones, we tend to gravitate, or we embrace the pain,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Because we sometimes you can't feel anything,
Right.
and so
Right.
you're embracing this pain, and to some, this is not all, some tend to take that on as an identity,
Mm.
right? We
Mhm.
take grief on as an identity. We take on our careers and our roles
Yes.
as an identity. That's not who you are.
Mhm.
And I
Correct.
believe I want to encourage your audience today. Go back and remind yourself of who you are. No
Yes.
setback can strip away the talent, the experience, and the
Mhm.
character of God that God has placed in you. So, what I would suggest to you is that you keep in mind, there's a mindset shift here. You keep in mind that this season, number one, has not come to stay.
Right. Right.
It is an opportunity for you to rediscover who you are and the purpose and plan that God has placed you here for. Before you had that career, before that position and role that you had, guess what? Before you were formed in your mother's womb, the word says that God has set you apart.
Yes.
He
Yes.
had a plan for you. And so, recognizing your worth is one point that I want to make to you. Um, Continue to fortify yourself. What do I
Mhm.
mean? Fortify yourself in the word of God. Now, I'm going to say this to you. I'm a pastor, and that is, I'm going to tell you, I will say this till I'm blue in the face. It's starting there. Your
Yeah.
firm foundation. Remember, Dr. Wicker and I talked about that. That firm
Mhm.
foundation. That is
Yes.
what you stand on. Go back to your to what you know, who you know. That is your relationship with your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Fortify yourself in prayer and in the Word of God. And here we are in this moment, in this setback that you're having right now. I truly believe that God can also reveal to you a divine purpose for this season. The
Yes.
setbacks that we have also helps us, if we allow it, to grow through it, whether
Say
it
that.
be your
Say that again. Say that again. Because many people
yours.
on here have
Yes.
lost jobs.
Yes,
Many
ma'am.
people on here will see this as a replay. Have lost a promotion. They think right, and say that again so people will understand that really is not the boss or the leader that you need to be looking at. It is your spiritual connection that
Yes.
you need to focus on. Go back to what you know. And if you don't know it, what should they do?
Yes. So here's the thing. Every last one of you that are watching today, God placed a purpose. He had a plan for you and a purpose. When I said this now, hear me out. Before you were born.
Yes.
So your identity is not in what you do. One of my mentors, Jade Simmons, would always share that with us. It's not what you do. That's not your purpose, but it's the impact that you make in the lives of others. And so
Yeah.
go back to that. Begin
Mhm.
to pull your journal out. See, some of you all, this is something that you already know.
Tell us.
You already know these things. So go back and begin to journal about the
Mhm.
things and the impact that you have made in the lives of others. I can
Yes.
guarantee you, Dr. Wicker, in the midst of this difficult time in my life, God began to cause me to rediscover some things about myself. I began to get curious about who I was in Christ, the
Mhm.
impact that I made in the lives of others. And as I began to do that, He began to uncover some things about what I needed to do for the next season.
Okay,
The
wait,
way,
wait, wait. You're saying
go
some
ahead.
stuff. Wait, wait. I love it. I don't want to change your thought, but I need people to really get this. You say we should journal, and
Absolutely.
and then we need to rediscover ourselves because when
Yes.
you open up, say that again, that He'll allow you to do what? You know,
So So, Dr. Wicker, when I was going through what I was going through, first of all, I'm going to touch on this in a moment because the importance of community.
Yes.
But I'm going to say this to you: when you began to really, it's not going back to square one. Let me make sure I say that it's not going back to square one, but it is going to your source of strength. That's what I want to say.
I love
And
it.
so as you begin to go to your source of strength, which for me is God, he is the creator. He created you fearfully, wonderfully made. He made you a masterpiece. He already deposited plan and purpose on the inside of you before you were born. So why not go to the one that created you, and he
Mhm.
will begin to reveal the plan for this season. So I
Yes.
was beginning to say setbacks can also become learning opportunities. Okay, life lessons. So I'm going to say this to you, Dr. Wicker, that is
Yes.
almost, I equate it to a pivot.
Mhm.
So career transitions can be very challenging, but they also present opportunities for learning. So I can almost hear them say, well, Carol, you know what? I'm not ready to hear all that right now. I'm just mad. I'm angry about what happened, right?
Yes.
Career loss of life, all of it. I'm just mad and I'm not ready. I get it. I
Yes.
totally empathize with what you're saying because I was once there. But when you're ready, we want you to go back to this video and replay it
Yes.
and hear this, that the challenges also present opportunities. Opportunities for what, Carol? To learn, to grow. It's a redirection. So pivoting, again, I'm going to say this again. Pivoting is not starting from square one. It means starting right where you are.
Yep. Got it.
Starting
Right.
where you are.
Mhm.
If I had my hands out right now, Dr. Wicker, I would say that what is in your hands?
Mhm.
Your
Mhm.
gifts and your talents have not gone anywhere. And I can even dare to say that as you begin to move forward in faith, God will also reveal to you some gifts and talents that you didn't even know you had,
Right. Right.
especially in the midst of loss. Dr. Wicker, I would not even imagine being a grief coach in this time, but I can guarantee you, as I began to go through my life, and I would
Mhm.
even say that the tools that my coaches have given to me, Coach Jade, Coach Pamela Luhing, they began to share with me the importance of looking at your life
Yes.
over these time frames, and you will begin to find some common threads over all your life, over your
Yes.
years of experience, over your years of living, and you will see some of those common threads come out. Why do I say that? Because here I am as a grief coach, and as I began to do the work, I began to see that, wow, I've been coaching really all my life without the title.
Right. Right. Mhm.
So why am I sharing this? Go pivot, journal, pull your journal out and begin to write that out. What is it that not you're good at? Listen,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
many of you powerhouse women that are out here listening to this right now, you are skilled, you are educated, talented. I mean, overflowing. Your cup is overflowing. But guess what? In our finite minds, we think that that's it, but it's
Yeah.
not. It's
Yes.
not. If you would just allow God to have his way in your life, he's going to begin to reveal to you in this new season of your life, although it may look bleak, he's going to begin to reveal to you how he wants to use your gifts and talents even the more. And even as you begin to journal, I can guarantee you, he's going to begin to reveal some new things to you. And
Mhm.
there's another audience. Maybe there's another audience that is waiting for you to get in place. So don't allow this upheaval that is happening in our nation. Don't
Mhm.
allow the grief and the loss to identify to that to be your identity. No, it
Right.
has come for a season. And here is the thing: grieve, take your time, give yourself that space to grieve. And when you are ready, begin to do the work. and allow God to use you through your pain. And this is what I like to always say: God can take the good, the bad, and the ugly and transform it for his glory. And
Mm-hmm.
you will be that one that's coming out of those low places, those setbacks, and you will be that one to tell your story about
Mm-hmm.
how God brought you through. Listen, brought you through, and you came out greater because of it.
Yes. You know what? I haven't asked one question. I love, I love it. I love it. Honey, I'm sitting here leaning in so far. I don't even need to ask no questions up here. I'm over here on the amen bench. I'm just like, hey, I'm having a good time. I'm like, okay, I needed this morning. And truly, from our audience, they're totally engaged, but you've offered some key strategies, and it's really because we're for and about women, it really applies to men as well.
Yes,
Anyone
of
listening
course.
today in our audience will get something from this conversation because we all go through loss, right?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
we all handle it differently. So I'm just going to summarize a few things that you said because we're running out of time. But you mentioned that we need to journal, and it's not about what we're good at. We need to allow ourselves to grieve. We need to
Yes.
also understand who we belong to and whose we belong to, right?
Yes.
We
Yes.
also need to reflect to begin to see some things and understand that the talents that we have, they're right in front of our face. One of the things that I really want to repeat here today is that we need to take inventory, is kind of what I hear you saying, and start right where we are,
Yes, ma'am.
not trying to get to tomorrow before tomorrow comes, right?
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
and recognizing that it's okay to grieve. And I know, with my recent loss of my sister, I could probably shed a bucket of tears right now. But I go through understanding those moments that she brings good memories for me to laugh as well,
Yes.
And
Yes.
so the work that I'm doing, how I got back on my horse in experience right away from January to now, is to remember that she would be telling me to keep it going, like make it work and be the most the best one cheering on is what I say, so you can't quit, right? So talk
Yes.
about, Will, how women can support or people can support one another through their griefs when, let's say, they don't have a Coach Carol.
Mm-hmm.
Can
Well,
you hear
thank
me?
you. Yes, absolutely. That's a very good question. And so here's, I think that we kind of touched on it a little bit already, Dr. Wicker. What if they don't have a Coach Carol? Community is
Yes.
so vital.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
who is your tribe? Who is your tribe? Reach out to your tribe. Loss, any type of loss. Sometimes we can feel isolated. And so that's
Yes.
one point that I want to make to the audience today. Be very careful about isolation. When we're
Yeah.
facing difficulty, we tend to retreat. So give yourself the time. Take it one day, one moment at a time. Take your moment. Don't feel pressured in moving on, as people say. That's one phrase you will never hear me say, moving on, because it sounds a little insensitive. But we want to grow through this journey. So be very
Right.
careful, though. So take your moment, but then understand you cannot isolate, you cannot stay there. So if you don't have a Coach Carol, then pull on your community. It's
Hmm.
important that for those are experiencing career loss, it's the same. Continue to build relationships with like-minded professionals, your mentors and your peers.
Hmm.
Making sure that again you're seeking God for guidance. You're connecting. So making sure you are connecting, whether maybe for some people, Dr. Wicker, it's their church family, it's their
Yeah.
immediate family, their family and friends. But make sure that you stay connected. That's, to me, is very, very important. So I think that would really
Appreciate.
help.
I appreciate that. I mean, I wish we could go on and on. I mean, I have to have you come back one day so we can talk more about
Yes.
this,
Yes.
particularly given it's topical in these times. I mean, right at this moment, no one would have thought 2025 will start out like this with such change that immediately has impacted people for loss in so many ways. And so I appreciate you and others that have the ability to coach people through. I'd like you to tell us one thing. You mentioned something here, and I think it's something I can't skip over. You said people that may be going through loss or grieving perhaps could go into isolation.
Mm.
When you see that happening, what is something that you can do when you realize that a person has gone into isolation? They're antisocial. They just don't want to be with people. How do you handle that?
Well, I think that first we have to understand that it is natural, right? As I share with you, yes, it is natural, especially in the beginning of their journey. It's natural because we want to come away. We're processing this loss. And so, but here for those of you that are the supporters, for those of you that are, you have that friend, that colleague where you see them pulling away, I would just say to be very gentle with that person, and to make sure that you're reaching out. Some people
Mm.
who have experienced loss, Dr. Wicker, when people say, well, I'm right here if you need me. Well, let's switch that.
Yeah.
Let's be proactive. And whether they answer the phone or whether they answer or respond to your text, um, I would just want you to reach out to them. It's just as
Yes.
simple as it's that simple. It's just reaching out to them. And here's what I want to say to the supporters: there is a ministry in silence. We can't fix it. Are you hearing me? We can't fix it, but just have an ear to hear. But I want you to begin to watch, because here is the extreme side to this. There are some, Dr. Wicker, that are going through depression
Hmm.
during these times. And it's important that their community, we are their community, their tribe, that we are watching and we are listening. And if there comes a point where you feel that that person is in a very dark place, we want to encourage them to get the proper clinical help.
Yes.
They're
Yes.
experiencing anxiety because of what they're going through. We want to make sure that we're directing them to the proper help. I always distinguish this. I am a grief coach. I'm not a
Hmm.
therapist. And every
Yes.
time I want to make sure that I share that with you all, get them the proper help, encourage them. Again,
Yes.
be proactive, already have the resources in hand, calling them, hey, I want to share this with you. Hey, I'm
Yes.
getting ready to come on over and we're getting ready to go for a walk. Well, I don't want to go for a walk. So gently talking with them. It's okay. How
Yes.
about we just talk? How about we do a Zoom call and just
Yeah.
begin to little bit by little encourage them. But I want to encourage the supporters, be consistent, don't push them, but just take their lead. But little bit by little, if you see that isolation happening, continue to reach out and be proactive.
Thank you so much. We're going to leave with that, to continuously reach out and be proactive in your circle, with your friends, with your families. And the ministry of silence, understand what that is. We need to make sure that we're being observant, and to make sure that we give people time enough to grieve, but yet at the same time we need to be observant, right?
Yes.
I
Yes.
thank you so much. Is there any other message you'd like to leave our audience with? This has been great. In fact, I think we're running over a little bit, and then we will certainly talk to our audience when you leave. But thank you so much, Carol. Is there anything else you'd like to say before you depart today?
Well, I just want to again say thank you. And to your audience, please know that you're not alone. Take heart. The season is temporary, it has not come to stay. Continue to press forward, trust God, and believe He's going to take you through the season.
Wow. Thank you so much, and happy Women's History Month. And congratulations on being a 2025 Career Mastered honoree.
Thank you, Dr. Wicker.
Bye now. Wow. Oh my gosh. I have to just take a breath for a moment. That was just tremendously helpful, especially for me in these times and in these times. And for those that are listening, I hope that you found what our wonderful guest, Pastor Carol, shared to be very, very helpful. And I apologize that you didn't hear me when I first started this morning. I wanted to just say that we're ecstatic about this show. We are talking to women all year, once a week, that have been honored by Career Master, that certainly have an opportunity to share some of their proven leadership skills. And I know today I got so much from our speaker, but I wanted to give you a backdrop on what's going on with Career Mastered. As you know, we're a quarterly magazine. The spring issue has just been released. So if you have not had a chance to pick that up, please do so that at careermaster.com. On the cover is Talia Fox. She too is a Career Master 2025 member of that class for her leadership with the CEO of Kusai Global, a training company, as well as the author of The Power of Connections, 4 Habits to Transform Your Life and your career. And so I'm just pleased to have had her on. You can go back and get her replay, and as well as pick up a copy of the print or digital magazine at this moment on careermaster.com. I also want to share that we have moved forward with the Brunch with the Masters Leadership Conversations. The Charlotte conversation is being held on May the 6th at Myers Park Country Club. Tickets and seats are open right now. If you have any reason that you want to be present, and I hope you do, realize that our tickets go very fast. We have a limited capacity at Myers Park Country Club, but we are going to be there with remarkable women talking about leadership in a way that continues to advance the progress of women in the marketplace. With us will be April Simpkins. For those that are in the Charlotte marketplace and globally, April is known for her foundation as she lost a daughter in a couple of years ago, as well as Marie McLucas, the CFO of Primex Properties, Sally Jaros, who is with an investment banking company, Jacinda Jacobs, who is a media personality. We will be at the Charlotte Myers Park Country Club on May the 6th for what will be a marvelous event, an affair. With us are women from various backgrounds: Christy Shaw, Callie Dobbins from Atrium Health, Tanya Rivens. I can't tell you all of the women who have been so supportive and are ambassadors for us will be present as we go through speed networking and a conversation with many of these women. So please look for your opportunity to reserve your seats today. You can go to careermaster.com. And then Detroit's conversation is coming. You know, that was not going to be far behind, but on May the 20th, we will be in Detroit for a conversation with none other than Areva Martin, multi award-winning civil rights attorney, CNN contributor, Dr. Phil Show contributor. I can tell you on and on and on, but that is going to be as powerful as can be. We'll have a fireside chat with her, along with our leaders and ambassadors in that marketplace. Of course, is Gail Perry Mason, Donna Joseph Kemp, Denise Brooks Williams, and Tadia Amari will be our mistress of ceremonies. Man, I can't get it all out. I'm just so excited. If you are interested, and tickets for that will go on sale today. If you're interested in becoming an ambassador and to host a brunch in your city, you can easily fill out an application, give us a call at our office number, which is 866-601-4441, and tell us why you'd like to do it, what city you would like to bring this conversation to, and we can make sure that we are spreading advice and leadership gems around the nation, around the globe. So we're excited about what we're doing and hope that you are too. Next week, we will be on this show with Glenda Gill. And for those that don't know Glenda Gill, please understand that she's one of our honorees this year. She is the founder of Save a Girl, Save a World, as well as the formerly, she worked with Rainbow Push with Jesse Jackson. Again, I'm looking forward to it. I look forward to next week. And I thank you for joining me today. In the meantime, make it a great day and happy Women's History Month.